Welcome to my trip to Axum 2017. I would like to share with you my experience about Axum history, culture, language, daily life and how to get there. There are 3 ways to get from Addis Ababa to Axum by plane or by car. It is possible to get to Axum from Addis Ababa in 1 long day, and vice versa, though 2 days is more likely. Drivers can be arranged through hotels or touts and, while not certainly the cheapest option, especially if you are able to take advantage of the Ethiopian Airlines discounts, can be faster and forward/or more comfortable than other means of public transportation. The distance from Addis Ababa to Axum is 357 miles, 575 kilometers. Axum, also spelt Axum, is a city of 56,000 in the Tigray region of Ethiopia, just south of Eritrea, with which it shares the language of Tigrinya. Axum is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Africa.
They will come back. They will come
The
around.
stone buildings in Axum were built without the use of mortar. Instead, the stones were carved to fit snugly together. The city of Adulis was destroyed by Islamic invaders in 710. Axum or Axum Tigrinya, Ges, Amharic, Axum, is a historical town in Tigray region, Ethiopia and the site of the historic capital of the Aksumite Empire. It was a tourist town until the Tigray conflict started in November 2020 with a population of 66,800 residents, as of 2015. Axum is a city in northern Ethiopia. It's known for its tall, carved obelisks, relics of the ancient kingdom of Axum. Most are in the northern Stele Park, including a huge fallen pillar, now in pieces. Centuries-old St. Mary of Zion is a Christian church and pilgrimage site believed to have housed the biblical Ark of the Covenant. The neighboring chapel of the tablet is said to contain the Ark today. The Empire of Axum is notable for a number of achievements, such as its own alphabet, the Ges script, which was eventually modified to include vowels, becoming an abugida. Under Emperor Izana, Axum adopted Christianity in place of its former polytheistic and Judaic religions around 325. With the city's ascendance centuries before the birth of Christ and its position next to the Red Sea, Axum became a major center for international trade. Known for its monumental obelisk and as an early center of Christianity in Africa, Axum became one of the holiest of cities of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The Obelisks of Axum. Built in the 4th century by King Izana, the 160-ton monument had stood in place for over 1,000 years, until the colonial aspirations of a nation far from Ethiopia arrived on her shores. The city of Axum is the capital of the East African Empire of Axum and has been thriving since the 1st century AD. The 3rd century Persian prophet Mani named the Aksumite Empire as one of the 4 great kingdoms on earth together with Babylon, Persia, Rome and China. The city of Axum is situated approximately 50 kilometers northeast of the Tekes River and 150 kilometers southwest of the Red Sea, at an altitude of approximately 2,100 meters. It is in a plain area between the hills of Beta Georgis, to the northwest, and Makaho, to the northeast. The Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church claims that the Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion in Axum houses the biblical Ark of the Covenant, in which lie the tablets of stone upon which the 10 Commandments are inscribed. 10. Ethiopian traditions suggest that it was from Axum that Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, journeyed to visit King Solomon in Jerusalem and that the two had a son, Menelik, who grew up in Ethiopia but traveled to Jerusalem as a young man to visit his father's homeland. He lived several years in Jerusalem before returning to his country with the Ark of the Covenant. According to the Ethiopian Church and Ethiopian tradition, the Ark still exists in Axum. This same church was the site where Ethiopian emperors were crowned for centuries until the reign of Phaisalides, then again beginning with Johannes IV until the end of the empire. Axum is considered to be the holiest city in Ethiopia and is an important destination of pilgrimages. 10.11 Significant religious festivals are the Timkat festival, known as Epiphany in Western Christianity, on the 19th of January, the 20th of January in leap years, and the festival of Mariam Zirin on the 24th of November. The other major feature of the town are the old and new Church of Our Lady Mary of Zirin. The Church of Our Lady Mary of Zirin was built in 1665 by Emperor Phaisalides and said to have previously housed the Ark of the Covenant. The original cathedral, said to have been built by Azona and augmented several times after, was believed to have been massive with 12 naves. It was burned to the ground by Gudit, rebuilt, and then destroyed again during the Abyssinian-Adal War of the 1500s. It was again rebuilt by Emperor Gelawdewos, completed by his brother and successor Emperor Minos, and Emperor Phaisalides replaced that structure with the present one. Only men are permitted entry into the old St. Mary's Cathedral, some say as a result of the destruction of the original church by Gudit. The new Cathedral of St. Mary of Zirin stands next to the old one, and was built to fulfill a pledge by Emperor Haile Selassie to Our Lady of Zirin for the liberation of Ethiopia from the fascist occupation. Built in a Neo-Byzantine style, work on the new cathedral began in 1955, and allows admittance to women. Emperor Haile Selassie interrupted the state visit of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II to travel to Axum to attend the dedication of the new cathedral and pay personal homage, showing the importance of this church in the Ethiopian Empire. The Queen visited the cathedral a few days later. Between the two cathedrals is a small chapel known as the Chapel of the Tablet, built at the same time as the new cathedral, and which is believed to house the Ark of the Covenant. Emperor Haile Selassie's consort, Empress Menenius IV, paid for its construction from her private funds. Admittance to the chapel is closed to all but the guardian monk who resides there. Entrance is even forbidden to the Patriarch of the Orthodox Church, and to the Emperor of Ethiopia during the monarchy. The two cathedrals and the Chapel of the Ark are the focus of pilgrimage and considered the holiest sites in Ethiopia to members of its Orthodox Church. Axum has long been regarded a holy city for the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. It forms the setting of the 14th century work Kebra Negast, Glory of the Kings, which relates the tradition of the transference of the Ark of the Covenant from Jerusalem to Axum by King Menelik I, legendary son of Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba, Makeda. According to tradition, the Church of St. Mary of Zirin contains the Ark of the Covenant. Over the centuries, however, the church has been destroyed and rebuilt several times. The present structure dates from the 17th century. Emperor Haile Selassie I built the new Church of St. Mary of Zirin near the old one in 1965. The city itself extends over an area of more than 1.2 square kilometers and is the largest city in this region. While not as large as some of the major cities in North Africa, such as Alexandria, it is slightly smaller than Roman London and approximately the same size as pre-Islamic Damascus. Axum is currently governed by King Caleb, who you should address with the local title Negus. He controls and draws considerable wealth from the nearby coastal regions of the Red Sea and the port of Adulis on the Gulf of Zula, where merchants sailing between the Mediterranean Sea and the Indian Ocean stop to purchase supplies and trade their goods in exchange for local products such as ivory and gold. The Kingdom of Axum was located along the southern coast of the Red Sea. While most of the empire was west of the Red Sea in the Horn of Africa, at times Axum also held portions of the Arabian Peninsula to the east of the Red Sea. The kingdom covered much of the current-day country of Eritrea as well as northern Ethiopia, Sudan, Yemen, and southern Saudi Arabia. It was for nearly 800 years the administrative center of one of the great empires of the Old World along with those of Rome, Persia and China, and remains the ecclesiastical capital of the Ethiopian Church. It is famous for its stelae, churches, monasteries, tombs and the ruins of palaces, and was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980. The city of Axum was the capital of an ancient empire that at its height stretched from what is now northern Ethiopia, parts of Sudan, and present-day Yemen. Located along the Red Sea, the kingdom was an important meeting point of cultural and commercial interests. Axum's trade network extended into the Roman Empire, as well as Egypt, Iran, India, and Central Asia. Axum's obelisks, built as monuments to its many kings, remain standing to the present day and serve as testament to the cultural achievements of the ancient empire. The Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion, where the Ark of the Covenant is believed to rest, continues to be the spiritual and administrative head of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and is an important site of pilgrimage for Ethiopian Christians. Present-day Axum is a town of 56,000 people located in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. Most residents speak Tigrinya and are members of the Ethiopian Orthodox faith, with a small community of Muslims also present. Situated in the highlands of northern Ethiopia, Axum symbolizes the wealth and importance of the civilization of the ancient Aksumite kingdom, which lasted from the 1st to the 8th centuries AD. The kingdom was at the crossroads of the three continents, Africa, Arabia and the Greco-Roman world, and was the most powerful state between the Eastern Roman Empire and Persia. In command of the ivory trade with Sudan, its fleets controlled the Red Sea trade through the port of Adulis and the inland routes of northeastern Africa. The ruins of the ancient Aksumite civilization covered a wide area in the Tigray Plateau. The most impressive monuments are the monolithic obelisks, royal tombs and the palace ruins dating to the 6th and 7th centuries AD. Several stelae survive in the town of Axum dating between the 3rd and 4th centuries AD. The largest standing obelisk rises to a height of over 23 meters and is exquisitely carved to represent a 9-story building of the Aksumites. It stands at the entrance of the main stelae area. The largest obelisk of some 33 meters long lies where it fell, perhaps during the process of erection. It is possibly the largest monolithic stele that ancient human beings ever attempted to erect. A series of inscriptions on stone tablets have proved to be of immense importance to historians of the ancient world. Some of them include trilingual text in Greek, Sabaean and Ge'ez, classical Ethiopian, inscribed by King Izana in the 4th century AD. The introduction of Christianity in the 4th century AD resulted in the building of churches, such as Saint Mary of Zion, rebuilt in the Gondarian period, in the 17th century AD, which is believed to hold the Ark of the Covenant. Thank you for watching.